Hi everybody, and welcome to my new classroom located here in my home. As a result of COVID-19, I have set up shop right here in my bonus room. Had to bring home a couple of things from my classroom so that when I virtually meet with my students, I kind of feel like I'm at work a little bit, not at my house. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Get Epic today. This is one of my students' favorite resources to use in the classroom, and I'm really glad that my students had the opportunity to work with this prior to all of this happening so that they can easily navigate through this app and continue reading while at home. So let's go ahead and get started with getepic.com. I'm going to be using an iPad today to show you how easy it is to sign up and to get your students hooked up and on to Get Epic. So the first thing you'll need to do if you're working with an iPad is to download the app. If you are working with a computer, just go to their website, getepic.com, and you're going to want to choose the button that says Educators. It's going to ask you to fill in some basic information to get started. Since I have an account, I'm just going to click down at the bottom where it says already have an Get Epic account. Sign in. At this point, it's going to ask you when you log in if you are a parent or if you are a student or educator. So I'm going to click Student Educator. Since most of the world is now teaching and learning from home, Get Epic has been kind enough, like so many companies, that they are offering their service for free until the end of June. So I highly encourage you to use this with your students. This will work for students who are non-readers and students who are older than my students, which are third graders. All right, so the next thing you need to do is if you're a student, you have a student login that you would put in, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, which is a class code. You're going to get one of those. Or if you're an educator, it gives you the option of connecting with Google or entering your educator email. I have always just connected with my Gmail. It is so simple and so easy. And you just have to give the permissions and then choose your account. And you're in. And my screen would look a little bit different than yours because I've been using this for quite some time. So I'm just going to give you a quick peek of my screen. And then you'll see that class code that I was talking about that's up in the top right corner. If you are planning on using this resource at home now with your students and families, I suggest that you immediately communicate with them through either your Class Dojo or whatever form of communication that you're using, and ask them for their emails, and you will simply plug their email address in, and Get Epic will send them an email, and they're hooked up at home in minutes. I did this the other day, sent a message out to my parents letting them know within just a few minutes. I got about 10 responses, plugged those email addresses in, and I actually received pictures of some of my students enjoying Get Epic at home. And so during these difficult times that we're having right now, it was really kind of heartwarming to see that my students were still reading. Okay, so at this point, you have the option to share with family, which I just talked about, and it allows you to do that one at a time. If your student's already in, I'm assuming if you're watching this, your students are not in. And so you have two ways that you can do this. One, you can type in and add your roster. or you can sync Get Epic with Google Classroom. So if you've got Google Classroom, I strongly suggest at this point that you just go ahead and import your Google Classroom. The button is located over to the right-hand side. It says Import Google Classroom. You would choose whichever class you wanted to import. I'm just going to choose one of my blocks. And it lists all of my students' names at this point. I'm going to leave them all checked. I'm going to click Import, and in just a few minutes, all of your students from Google Classroom are now in Get Epic. All right, the next thing that I would like to show you is the collections that are available for you. You can allow your students to just choose and to read as they please, but if you actually want to make assignments, virtual assignments for them, you can do that as well. So on the iPad, it's down along the bottom. You have five choices: explore, search, your little icon, whichever icon you choose. Mine is a little fox with an apple, my library, or mailbox. So I'm going to choose my little icon, and that takes me back to my main screen. And then I'm going to search. So for example, third grade, we are going to be doing a plant pathway for the students at home. So I'm going to go ahead and search for books or videos that have to do with plants. You can narrow your search down, and I'm just going to show you what has come up just by typing in plants. I can narrow my search down by choosing the reading level. And so knowing my students and what they're capable of, I'm going to choose books that are between a second and third and fourth grade reading level, so that I'm meeting the needs of my students who might struggle, but that I'm also providing resources for students who need some enrichment. And as you can see, and I'm going to attempt to scroll as I do this, you can see all the books that are available for plants. Well, let's say I want to make this easy on myself. And rather than putting a collection together, I want to see if there's been collections already created and that they'll work for me. Along the top, it says all books, videos, read to me, audiobooks, and collections. So for your students, maybe your English language learner students, you could look for books that are audiobooks or read to me, and you could assign those books specifically to those students. Or you can see if some of those books are already a part of a collection. Now, typically when I'm looking at a collection, I'm looking for a collection that has a variety of resources in it and a variety of reading levels, so it meets the needs of all of my students. And I typically look for collections that have been viewed more than 100 times. I just have found that I've had a lot more success with those collections and that they've met the needs of my students a little bit better. Okay, so one of the first collections that I see, there's a collection that has 805 views, and there's a collection that has over 2,000 views. All right, I'm going to go with the one that has 2,000 views. It has 18 books in it. And it has an age range of 3 through 9, and it doesn't have any videos. So I'm going to back out and I'm going to take a look at that other collection that was 805. All right, this one has only 10 books, but the age range is 5 through 12. And again, there's no videos. So I like this collection and I'd like to use it with my students. So you have a couple of options at this point. You have the like button, you have the favorite button, and then you have the more button. You can click the more button at this point, and you can actually copy this collection so that you keep it for yourself, or you can actually click the share button and share this collection out with your students. And this collection is sent right to them in their mailbox. So I'm going to choose share. And then it says I can share it with Epic Teachers, I can share it email, I can get a shareable link, and then of course it says Facebook or Twitter. All right, I'm going to go ahead and copy this collection, which it's doing, and it is copied. I'm then going to go to my library, and I'm going to look for that collection there. All right, there's my collection. And at this point, again, I have those choices across the top. I have like, I have edit, and I have the more button with the 3 dots. I'm going to hit the more button, and I'm going to go ahead and choose from one of those options. Collection details, assign, lesson plan, or share. At this point, if you wanted to, you could assign this to your students. You are also able to edit this collection, meaning that if you see other books that you like, you can continue to add materials to your collection. All right, something else that I'd like to share with you is that once you have your students set up, how easy it is to get your parents hooked up as well, your students' parents as well. And so on that main home page, you can share Get Epic with your families. And so the very first thing that you have to do is have email addresses. And then you type in the email address, and then you share it with families. And again, Get Epic right now is offering this for free at home at no charge. If you have any questions about how to use Get Epic in your classroom, you are welcome to contact me through my Johnston County email address. My name is Lois, Lois. Last name is D'Agostino, D'Agostino. And I would be happy to help you with how to get Epic up and going in your virtual classroom today. All right, thanks for joining me.